So I said I would talk about this change in our climate that's coming up near the end of the second week of January. Here's the Facebook post I originally made, just giving a brief uh, talk about this change coming up, and I have I'm gonna talk about it in detail here, and exactly what the Pacific North American pattern is, or also known as the PNA, and how it affects our climate and, well, yeah, what it is and what it does to affect our climate. So, let's get right into it. So, here is the 500 millibar height chart, or 5 kilometer layer of the atmosphere. So, 5 kilometers up in the atmosphere. And this is the height anomaly. So, this is telling us where the air is higher or thicker or lower and less thick. So that's very important. Like, very important for temperatures. Right here for Canada, you can see there's a pretty high pressure anomaly right here. So we can safely say they'll have above normal temperatures. Why? It's because high pressure aloft is gonna promote sinking air, and when that air sinks, it's gonna begin to compress more and more. And when there's compression, it's gonna begin to heat up and warm up through that compression. And also on top of that, that sinking air also prohibits rising motion from the warm air from the surface as well. So that warm air has a less of a chance to escape the surface, while low pressure is less less thick, so less dense, so it's not gonna warm by compression. It's actually gonna cool through like expansion because there's a lot less air. There's not a lot of compression going on right there, and it also promotes rising motion as well. So that warm air can also just escape. Since low pressure is associated with lower temperatures, warm air can have an easier time to rise, while high pressure is known to have higher temperatures, so the temperatures down below will have a harder time rising. So, with that in mind, we can talk about the PNA, or the Pacific North American pattern. So, we're going to put our focus in this area specifically, and right now we are in what's called positive PNA. So this means low pressure pretty much dominates this area. As you can see already, there's a low anomaly, and this is pretty much right now as well. So if we go forward in time, you can see pretty much the low pressure dominates this area until this ridge right here forms. This ridge right here, or this higher pressure, begins to form there and begins to pretty much dominate this area. And then it just, I guess, becomes neutral at this point or something. Not, no. There will be some above normal temperatures right here, as we can see. But notice this. Notice this. There's low pressure right here. But while this is here, a high pressure forms right here. And then when we go to when the PNA becomes negative right here, negative meaning there's high pressure over here dominating this area. It's high pressure right here, so, and it switched. It completely switched places. Now there's low pressure right here. So with that in mind, we can, with only this information, we can say like these areas right here will have below normal temperatures. So I hope you can see the connection between the the two right here and how they switch and the connection between the temperature anomalies. We're gonna go into the surface chart here so we can get into another reason for the temperature shift. Again, this is right now, so there's low pressure right here. And with low pressure, it spins counterclockwise, like this. And with that in mind, this counterclockwise motion, and actually I should mention this next, high pressure spins clockwise. This is this is clockwise. I mix up the two because it's inverted for me. So with that in mind, here's high pressure right here, and also the water. Should mention this as well. With that in mind as well, high pressure, low pressure. This is spinning counterclockwise. So it's pulling up warmer water from the south because there are warmer waters down south. If we go to this right here, you can see this is in Celsius, but you can tell by the colors. There are warmer waters down here, and there's colder waters right up here. So with this, these winds right here, these counterclockwise winds, are going to pull up the warmer water from down south up to the west coast here and up to Canada. And this high pressure too is going to also contribute to moving the water up north because of its clockwise pattern here. So with that, now we're beginning to get to the negative PNA forecast here that we saw earlier. Now there's high pressure dominating the area. If you just keep your eyes on that, you can see it just barely moves at all. Now again, clockwise motion with high pressure, it's going to start pulling down that colder water down south here over the coast of Canada right here and the west coast here. And there's like a little low pressure right here as well. With its counterclockwise winds right here, the winds are going to enhance right here specifically to increase the flow of water being pulled down south. And then right here, you just got low pressures over the coast here, enhancing the cold water flow. So there's that. We'll have a look at the temperature anomalies. We'll set this for North America right here. So you can see generally Canada's pretty much entirely above normal or just near normal. As time goes on, you can see it just starts to begins to weaken as the PNA begins to become negative. And now below normal temperatures begin to emerge. So this, again, it's related to the pressures out here. The high pressure is just pulling that colder water to the coast here and also to the west coast here, affecting the US. It's a pretty big deal, and also the alternating pressures over here through compression and expansion as well, contributing to the temperature changes. And you could just have a look at the PNA index that the Climate Prediction Center so kindly has laid out on their website. So right here, here's the 15th of December, and if we continue in time right here, you can see it jumps quite a bit up into the positive stage. And this explains why we had such a warm December and such a warm Christmas as well, record-breaking, mind you. That is why we just had such warm temperatures. But now, as you can see, all these red lines, they're individual forecasting models that make up one ensemble. The dashed line is pretty much the median or the average between all of them. So this is showing that it's gonna pretty much gradually go down as time goes on, and we can just see this is about a week near the end of the second week of January. So that lines up to what we looked at with the GFS model, or the global forecasting system. And just for the heck of it, this is the height anomalies for the past 30 days. So if you focus on this area specifically, you can notice it's just mainly blue. There's blue right there pulling up southern warmer water. A counterclockwise wind blowing up that water. There's that as well. Also helping contribute to that as well. And let's have a look at the CFS model, or the climate forecasting system. Here you can see, again, this is generally what we're in right now, positive PNA. If we go right here, here's that high pressure right here, and there's the low pressure right there. They switched places. So CFS also forecasts this as well. If we have a look at its temperature anomaly, pretty much above normal stuff. And there's the below normal near the end of the second week of January. Now, of course, to this magnitude, I wouldn't believe it, because, well, CFS is in its own little world when it comes to accurate prediction of temperature. But this gives us an idea of what to expect in the near future. So we could see something like this to some degree, maybe not, but for sure the west coast right here will be below normal, and I think we will also get a taste of that as well, which, you know, GFS forecasts it like this right here. So generally, yeah, we'll be below normal. Since Canada is generally our source of cold air, since they're a lot colder, any cold air that begins to be pulled down south, yeah, we're gonna get a lot colder because of them. So I believe that is it. That's all I need to explain. This is like my third, fourth take, because I didn't like how I explained some things and stuff. But, you know, this is how you learn. Hope you learned a thing or two, and that'd be it. That's what you should expect in the coming future of January.